So hello everyone, hello Sir Henry. Today I'm gonna demonstrate how to create a database. So a database is important for an HR, especially in the aspect of human resource information system, in order to store employee data as well as make reports of it and create it as a decision support system and different types of functions itself. So in creating a database, it is important to also make a relational. It basically create a relational database wherein data from a simple cell will relate to a different one depending on the type of information, and also to create a system in which it would be convenience for the type of uh, data that will be placed, and also in the part of HR will be uh, easier to input, etc., etc. So now we're gonna start. So basically, first we're gonna place and creating a database. We would place different types of information that are essential for a database, such as employee number, first name, middle name, last name, birthday, contact number, email address, marital status, and etc. So it is also important to identify here which are the foreign keys and the primary keys. In this concept, in this database, the primary key for every data is the employee, meaning that employee number differs from one employee to another, from one set of information to different types of information. So, going to the first names and last names and birth year, contact number, marital status, and etc., etc. These are considered to be foreign keys since somehow there can be similarities with one another. Similarities with data such as from marital status, there can be an employee who is single, there can be others who are married, there are people who are single, and these are useful to be identified in order so that when we create a pivot table later on or a report, we, we would identify who belongs to how many people are involved in this type of information, how many people are single, etc., etc. So first, I'm gonna input a data for employee number. So example 100, Rhoice, Ibas, Odoya, then gender is male, birthday November 21, the 21, excuse me. And I will set this aside later. November, birth year is later. Contact number 0977340290. Is the 21 at gmail.com. Home address to say S. Matina, Davao City. And I would leave the others blank for a while. So now I will introduce you to different types of functions that are essential in creating a relational database. So I identified 11 types of functions that are essential. So these are lookup and or mount, day, year, if error, data validation, table, pivot table, charts, and graphs. So first I'm gonna introduce the data validation table and also VLOOKUP. So in VLOOKUP, we need to create tables for a specific set of data. So let's get an example here. So for let's say for let's start with data validation. For marital status, we can select single, married, divorced, and other types of marital status. So in order to create a data validation, click the cell, then click data validation. Then you can click settings, then select list. Then you can basically manually place the different types of uh, status by just separating comma and space. You can create another set of choice. Then you can place also input message, marital status of employee, and this would reflect in here. You select the marital status of the employee, and also an error alert if an incorrect data is placed in the cell itself. So warning, input error, please click on the choices. Then after that, click OK. Now you have different types of choices for marital status. So now I'm currently single, so I'm going to click single. So now we're done for data validation. Okay. So next is table and VLOOKUP. So for when creating a VLOOKUP, I would set an example here for position. I also placed data validation in here. Basically, uh, first for VLOOKUP, I mean, we first need to create a table that would suffice what type of information are would be covered from the selected data itself. So for position, I assigned basic pay, hourly rate, annual rate, allowance, and allowance too. So I click data validation, then I selected the criteria from different sheets. So let's go to the different sheet. So this is the uh, table for my VLOOKUP. Uh, I assigned it earlier, but basically this is the table for VLOOKUP. Then in order to create it as table, the you must highlight the thing, click insert, and click table. Now, since it is still a table, we would now if we could convert it to a range and decided to uh use it as a table, you can click table, yeah, insert, then table, then click my table has options. Then there you go. There's the data for table for our view up. And now going to the database itself, uh, we can select data validation in here and select the tables for VLOOKUP, basically for the position, the 5 positions, director, manager, outsource consultant, staff, and supervisor. Then when you click in here, we need to see that the pay for the specific position. So what we need to do is click basic pay, then click down, then click equals VLOOKUP, then select the lookup value, which is the director or what we need to know. Then we can also lock this not establish a position itself. Then select the table in which we would apply the VLOOKUP to. So this is the table. You can just hold shift, then select it. Then basic pay. Basically basic pay. What column is the basic pay from the table? So in the table, I think it is in the column 2, so comma 2. Then afterwards, you may click enter. Oops, sorry. Then click enter. And there you go. Now it reflects the basic pay of the director. Whenever we change this, it also changes. So if we also wanted for our hourly rate, annual rate, allowance, and allowance too, we can just simply drag this down and change the column number according to its specific type of column. So we can change 3 for hourly rate since it was a ascending order, 4, 5, and 6. Sorry. So now we're good to go with our VLOOKUP. We can click on staff, changes with different types of lookup value. The pays are different from one another. So that simply is VLOOKUP. So now we've covered VLOOKUP and table. Now going to month, day, or year. This is basically selecting what month, what day, or what year is the selected data from. Going to the birthday, I made a mistake for birthday. I think we need to apply the US type of formatting for date. So November 21 2001 is 21. Then there you go. For birthday, we can click equals day and enter. For month, there you go. Month name, you can just manually place it. Or you can also apply month, then select this, then change its formatting, then for birth year is year, then select the year. And there you go. We have completed the year. Save this, then highlight. day, month, and year. So for and or, where it uses a logical type of questioning, we need to apply in here a conditional case set for just for an example for this data. So for basic pay, we measure it into uh and for and functions. In order for it to become true, the two statements or all statements must be true. If one becomes false, then the cell will automatically place it as false. So for and, it, first example is making all of the data true. So if we match this, T3 is equal to 35,000. Then for annual rate, select the cell for annual rate is equal to 420,000. Then click enter. It will automatically, since both data's informations are true, it would select true. If we change the value for, let's say, for example, our annual rate to 500,000, now uh it reflects false. This conditioning format for NNR can be used in different types of reports, also in specific data placing. However, in this database, we can still use it locally, applicable for some things. But surely this would be useful for logical reasons. While going to or when using when one value is correct, automatically the whole cell or the whole statement reflects true. So for an example for this is still the basic pay and the annual rate. So basic pay is equal to, let's say, we'll match it with 25,000, while the annual rate for 20,000 is, let's say, for example, 500,000. Since only one is correct, it still reflects true. So there we go. However, if uh both conditions are false, set for example, it's at the basic pay 20,000, then click enter. Now it reflects false. This is also similar with the function of and. Basically useful in some logical types of reasoning. However, in this database, still cannot totally be used since it's only for data storage. So yeah, I think we've covered and error, so we're good to go. Next, we're gonna proceed with uh if error. If error basically can states that if the value does not match or the one you placed as a equation what is equal for it, it would reflect the value before. For example, if I was not single, single, then if the value of error will be set, for example, oops, I think we need to specify. Oh yeah, so I think it's still correct. Since I place in here, if it is not single, then click married. However, since it is single, it reflected the correct it reflected true, since yeah, it's true. However, if I change the marital status now to an incorrect one, basically proving the error part. So if I placed married in here, it would now uh represent false. Oh, okay. I think I got So yeah, I think it's still a type of conditional part of uh, logical reasoning, and this can be used in different types of databases. But for this part, can be usable, but not for the types of data that we have currently. It doesn't reflect the usable type of data. So yeah, now we've learned if error, we're gonna check this. And lastly are the pivot table and percent graphs. So I've created initially a progressive database in here for the excuse me, for the whole data, having to have 100 types of data, 100 types of number of employees, 100 employees, I mean. So in order to create a pivot table, we must select the data from its start to the end, only from the type of attraction, position, then click insert and click pivot table. Then we'll just select a new sheet. Then for here, you can click right click, then pivot table options. Uh, yeah, you can click display, then classic pivot table. So you can basically drag these things out. Basic pivot table arranges your data into a table that summarizes different types of information, such as how many have birthdays in, no, sorry. So for example, here you can basically count the number of females and males. This You can count gender. Also, you can uh, separate them from positions. How many are directors? How many are managers? How many are outsourced consultant? What are the genders of the outsourced consultant? You can also type excuse me, birth month. Oh no. Sorry. How many are born from these types of years? Basically, how what these summarizes different types of information table, and creates a type of organized table, organized pivot data, in order to see how much what's the relational positions of statuses of both. So for any specific type of month, basically one is January, February, March. How many are having birthdays on January, February, March, and what are the positions, and etc. etc. So basically, that's the gist of pivot table. And now going to the last uh, part is which is the charts and graphs. So basically, you can also select these, then click insert, then charts. Then you can select an appropriate type of data that can be used in here. So we first must need to select example, how many are married, how many are visionary. So set for example for marital status, we can say we can create data that summarizes the how many are in marital status, basically the count. So yeah, you can see from here basically 46 are married, 5 are separated, single are 44. Also, you can select multiple types of data, such as sorry. So you can see you can use different types of charts and graph organizers, such as this clustered column, where it separates the number of the types according to its numbers, usually count. Uh, and you can also find different types of graphic organizers in order for different types of purposes, such as count, uh, bar graphs, pie graphs, like the one example a while ago, just the count for the marital status, and you basically use this from different types of information, even including the types of you can even including the ones for mathematics, numbers, and etc. etc. So basically, that is the gist on how to create a relational database using different types of Excel functions. Right. So as you can see, this data validated when you change the position accounting. It also changes. Also, it creates a meaning of statement. Basically, it relates to one another. What you placed from one data would reflect on the other sides. And I guess that is it for my video demonstration for relational database. Hope you like my video. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the lessons for you.